Okie doke, finally the last example. I feel like I've been talking forever. So example 10 is going to be pretty similar to example 9. What we're going to do here is we have a city's population that's growing at a rate of 8%. Notice when you write your percent, it's not an 8t, it's a 0.08t. After t years, your population is represented by this equation: P of t equals 450,000 e times e to the power of 0.08t. So if we want to find our initial population, that is just your value right here. So it's going to be 450,000. And then if we want to find the population after 20 years, all we have to do is find P of 20. So you plug in 450,000 e to the 0.08 times 20. And when we figure that answer out, we have 450. No, I didn't want to write all that. This is going to be a large number. So we're going to say 450,000 times e to the power of 0.08 times 20. So 80% of 20 is really 16, so you could put a 16 up there. You get a holy Moses. That's a large population. Lots of babies. So what we got here is a population of 222,000. No, actually, not 222,000. That's 222,8864. 0.591. So this is what your new population is going to be. That's a lot of babies. So you get a population of over 2.2 million. Now if we want to graph this function, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your y equals button. You're going to type in 450,000, and you're going to have second e to a, like I said, 0.08. 80% of 20 is just 16, so we can type in 16, and we hit graph. Where's it at? Well, if you think about this, your initial value, okay, your initial population is going to be at 450,000. So that means this only goes up to 10. I think we're a little bit off, so we'd have to change our window settings. One way you can do that is if you go to your zoom, and we'll see. I always try to see if this option works first. I always try to hit zoom and 0, because then what that does is that will zoom in and it'll give you something that'll be fit. Well, here we get a window range error. So check your window. Oops, hit 1. Then check your window. Well, if you notice a little something here, my Ymin, Ymax, a little bit like the exact same number. So we need to change that. So let's go to our Ymin. The minimum would be 450,000 because that's going to be your population. That's where you're starting. So then we can make our Ymax. We know it's going to be up to 2.2 million, so we can change it to a 2500000. So we'll make it 2.5 million. So let's see what this does to our graph. And we really could probably get rid of this over here. So if we change your window settings over here to your Xmin, let's just make that 0, and then make your Xmax. We're talking about years, right? Isn't X your number of years? So let's go to 20. And let's see what this does to our graph, if it does anything. Where is my graph? All right. Who took it? Who took the graph? I need to know where it is. Maybe it happened in this part. Notice how I have a 16 here? Yeah, this could be a really large number. So what this is doing is this is actually graphing a line way up here. So go back to your y equals. We need to change that instead of 16. We need to change that to an x. So delete, delete, make that an x, not that. I need an e to the x, so second e to the x. And we'll graph this. So go to the graph. And if you notice, this graph is going up super fast. So here, your graph, you have an exponential function. Remember, an exponential function is going to look rather similar to any other exponential function. Let's make this a -20. And then go to your graph. So notice how your graph goes through here, and you can barely see it because it's at 450,000. So let's change our window to our y min, maybe make it 400,000. Now let's make it 200,000. So if you need to evaluate your graph, it's going to come down through. Your y-intercept is a 450,000. Notice how it's going to the left. Well, you really don't need those values because you can't have a negative years in population. So your graph is going to end up and follow a nice, exponential function. It just comes through, goes up, and there it goes. So there's a line of fit. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what your graph will look like. Don't worry, you're not going to have to write this down. Hey, you guys enjoy your evening.